the 24th. I'm ready. Let's start. Bree, you're on if you'd like.
Okay. So, question 1 on the 2.2.1.
If you'd like to share, you can share your screen. If you don't want to, then tell me what the problem is. Or do we need is it a graph or?
Give me 1 second. Okay. Do you see my screen?
Yes. Okay. So we have to use the graph to determine something, something, something. So they want us to write open intervals on which the function is increasing, if any. Okay, you can stop sharing. I would prefer if you could enlarge the graph for a second. You see the, yes, more. Okay, perfect. Okay, so see, the function has arrows. So I'm going to copy, to the best of my ability, the graph in here. So keep it like that for 1 second. So I can explain. Perfect. You can stop sharing right now. And we'll come back to that. So this is our graph. This is our function. So this is f of x. And we're asked to identify the intervals for which the function is increasing, if any, they say. So see, the arrows go forever, right? So look at the marker, follow the graph. So obviously the function is increasing till this relative max, and then it starts decreasing. Simply follow the marker. Up, 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 up. We're looking at the y values, right? The y value here is this. The y value here is this. The y value here is this. The y value here is 0. The y value here is 1. And then all of a sudden it starts coming down. So we are only asked to determine the interval where the function is increasing. Not from what to what. We're not asked to determine the y value. We're asked to determine the trend corresponds to the x values such and such. So from negative infinity, because this continues forever, from negative infinity to 2, so the function is increasing on the interval negative infinity to 2. This is the 2. For all these values, we see the function increasing. Now okay. Between, say it again?
I said, okay, I was just affirming.
So now between 2 and infinity, the function starts decreasing. So f is decreasing on 2 to infinity. They have to be open parentheses. Now, if you want to share, again, because I think there were other questions in there. Or you can tell us what they were.
Yeah, it asked where the function was decreasing as well, and then where the function was constant. And there's no constant.
No constant. No constant, yes. So function will be constant if it does this.
Okay.
Other questions?
I think I understand now. I was just confused at the wording, like looking at it again.
Okay. Next question. Did you have anything else?
It's just the same concepts. I can share my screen again and show another one.
Yeah, if you want, sure. Everyone else, please be ready to ask your questions and get help for what you need. Okay. So the numbers at which it has a relative max, they're not asking where the function is increasing or decreasing. And so it says where, the numbers. In other words, for which x the function has a relative max. And then the second half of the question, what are those relative max? So if you'd like to enlarge the graph so I can copy it. Perfect, I see it perfectly now. Thank you. So here's the graph. Perfect, you can stop sharing now. Good. So again, I take my marker and I follow the graph. Relative minimum, relative max, relative min. Now we have to be very careful because the question has two parts. The numbers where there are relative min. Okay, I will say -1 and 1. They may ask you to put a comma. I don't know. You have to read the fine print when you enter the answer. Now it's asking what is the relative min? Well, for both of them, the relative min is 0. The y value is 0. So for both of them, the relative min is 0. I jumped to relative min and they were asking first the max. Sorry about that. So relative max at x equals 0. At x equals 0, there is a relative max. This is the number where the relative max will be found. What is the relative max? Well, the relative max is y equals 4. This is the actual value of the function. So the actual value of the function is 4. Where is it? It's found when x is 0. So again, when I look at this graph, because we are going to graph these in chapter 3, it's very important to understand the graphs. So if I'm asked decreasing, increasing intervals, I will say from -infinity to -1 is decreasing, and also from 0 to 1 is decreasing. If I'm asked about increasing, I will say from -1 to 0, union from 1 to infinity, because it's increasing. It has a relative min at -1 and 1. The actual value of the relative min is 0. It has a relative max. Where? When x is 0. How much is the relative max? 4. How do we feel about this?
I feel better. More clarity.
Perfect. Do we have other questions?
No, that's it for now.
Something from 2.2 you needed help with?
No, not yet.
Okay. Anyone else, please? Emily, Hunter, Christy, Cheyenne, Katie, Brand, Bailey, Imani. Please, anything else that you worked on and you need help with? Is there, if you don't need help with anything, is there any topic that you would like me to review with you? Anything that you need me to present before you continue? Any topic that comes to mind that you need more practice? Yes.
2.2, question 5.
Yes, yes, you can share your screen and you can show us what it is. Yes, yes, yes. If I were a student in this class, I would ask tons of questions. I will share my screen and say, I need help with this, I need help with this, I need help with this. It's up to you, of course, but why not? Yes, you can share your screen.
Is that the one that's like use the graph to find any values, and then it's f of x 2x to the cube plus 3x squared? Is that one? Because I have that one outprinted.
No, it's I took a picture of it. So it asks graph and equation of the function are given. Use the graph to find values. It says, yes, that is 2x to the third power. That's the one you're talking about?
Yeah, I can share my screen for.
Okay, please do it. That's what I need.
This is I consider the best class is when everyone pitches in, everyone says something, everybody has a question, everybody wants to work on a problem. This is the best class that I can ever envision. I'm ready. Yes. If you'd like to enlarge the graph a little bit more. Okay. So that is a graphing calculator problem. I mean, the graph is coming from the graphing calculator, and you see at the bottom, negative 5, 5, 1 means the leftmost point on the x-axis is negative 5, the rightmost point on the x-axis is 5 with a tick of 1. But the y-axis is between negative 120 to 120 with a tick of 20. Okay, so the graph and equation of the function f are given. Excellent. Part A, use the graph to find any values at which f has a relative max, and use the equation to calculate the relative max for each value. Excellent. Let me copy the function first. So we have f of x equals 2x to the third plus 3x squared minus 36x plus 8. Excellent. And I am also going to copy the graph. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. And 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, perfect. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. Two, 4, 6, 8. Okay, I see it. 2, 4. I see that too. Okay. So you can stop sharing now. Okay. So the question is asking us to find where the function has a relative max. That was the first question, right? Not min. Well, I think it was max, right?
It says, yeah, relative maximum.
Perfect. So again, I imagine that I follow, or I just follow if I have it on paper. So relative max appears to be here. So I think the maximum is obtained when x equals -3. And I read it here, but it's not important. They are asking us to find f of -3. So my assessment of the graph, I could be wrong because it's not easy to read, right? Not very easy from the computer. So, but I think that the relative max is obtained when x is -3, and now we're asked to find the y value. According to what the way I looked at the graph, it appears to be somewhere here, which I think is at 80, but I don't know. Regardless, this is not what we're asked to do. They're asking us to use the function to find it. And please always do this. Go to the graphing calculator and enter the function in y equals. Clear if you have anything else, and enter the function carefully and patiently. 2x to the third down plus 3x squared plus minus 36x and plus 8. And now go to second and table and plug in -3. I don't know if we're going to get 80, but from what I saw in the graph, to me it appeared to be 80. I don't know. Okay, it's 89. So reading from the graph was not accurate. So when x is -3, y is 89. So 89, the local or relative is the same thing. The relative maximum is obtained at -3, and the actual maximum is 89. Now, I'm assuming they also want us to determine the relative min. Okay, I already know it's here. It appears to be at x equals 2. Okay, I already have the function. I'm not going to plug it in again because it's right there. Just move the cursor back to x, plug in 2, and we get -36. So f of 2 appears to be -36. The trick is to always present the graph. Always present the function like that. Also, what I'm going to do is this. Go to the window and enter what they have in there. -5 to 5 with a scale of 1, and then 100 and -120 to 120 with a scale of 20. I'd better get the graph they have. Okay. The other option we have is with trace, or better, second and calculations. And I want to determine the maximum. We're going to do this again in chapter 3. I want to determine the maximum. I want the calculator to give me this maximum. Now the calculator is asking me to look for the maximum, but tell the calculator where to look for the maximum. I know the maximum is at -3, but the calculator wants a bound. It wants a left and the right. Okay, I'm going to put -2, I'm sorry, -4, and I'm going to put -1 because I know it's at -3. Okay, so I know I don't want to guess. You give me the answer. Here it is. This is the error of the calculator or the software. It's -3. and y is 89. I'm going to repeat. Second and calc. I want to determine the minimum now. But again, the calculator tells me, where do you want me to look for the minimum? And I'm going to say between positive 1 and positive 3. So 1, I know it's at 2. No, I don't want to guess. I press again, please give me the answer. And it's giving us positive 2 as expected, and y equals negative 36. So by having the function already entered in y equals, you can play with a lot of these features. You can determine the max and the min on your own. You can see the graph on your graphing calculator. There are a lot of things. It was a very good problem. Thank you for bringing that to class. Do you have any questions? Okay, so is there anything else we need to work on? Please. Anything? Any questions? Any